Hey there, this is Kenny Johnson. I want to make another or show you another hoof trim video. This is just going to show you a maintenance trim on a horse that I've been trimming for years. He is out 24/7 and ridden and worked probably 3-4 times a week. Just going to show you the maintenance trim. Last time we trimmed him was about 5 weeks ago. We keep these horses on a 4 to 5 week schedule based on their hoof growth. So we'll ask for that left front foot. Go ahead and pick this out, get our first look at what's going on in this hoof since our last trim. You want to assess your balance, you know, where the hoof has grown, where it's made modifications to your last trim. We're in pretty good shape here. It's got a very nice toe callus. If you want to come in on that, take a good look at that. Frog positioning in the relation to the heel and the rest of the foot is optimal. Just a little bit of bar growth. You know, we're deviating a little bit to the lateral side, to the outside, which is fine. You know, you got a little bit, what I mean by that, you just got a little bit more mass out here than you do versus here. But that's part of correcting the balance. So we'll go ahead and do our trim. Again, it's all about keeping the horse comfortable. Getting them to work with you rather than fight against you. Something I've kind of changed since my last trim video is I will take a little bit of that frog at the apex off if it's growing forward over the sole and not contributing to the frog's function. Just like that. You know, it's sort of like excess hoof wall growth that's going forward that doesn't really need to be there on the toe. Easy. Smooth these bars in. Bar growth is very nice. Smooth these bars in with the sole. Keep the height back here at the heel. Now we've got a little bit of chalkiness back here at the seat of corn, which is where the, you remember where the wall transitions into bar, and the bar is just a continuation of the hoof wall. Okay, again, the frog looks really nice. So that's all the trimming I'm going to do on this frog. We've got a good situation here. Heels are, you know, slightly contracted, but they're fine for this horse. Okay, so we'll give him a break real quick, let him even up. Got a very cooperative animal right here. We've got the ear focused on us. Nice head posture, relaxed body. All right, so now we'll go back to work. And Paul, if we could show that quarter arch again real quick. So this horse keeps a natural arch. I've seen that all day today on these horses I've trimmed. If you can see, we've got a support right here up at the toe. We've got a base of support back here at the heel. And then in between, you've got this nice little arched quarter, just like the arch in your foot, if they haven't fallen. So, you know, and you got the same thing going on over here. So this horse naturally puts that arch in there. So I just kind of accentuate that on my trim a little bit at the quarters. So we'll start off with that. Take it down to about the level of the sole. Maybe leave it a little bit higher. Sometimes you go down to the sole. It depends on the hoof. You can see we've got nice tight white line connection. We've got a little bit of separation going on here, a little bit going on here, but that's because the wall has grown outwards rather than upwards. The horse is wearing it down nicely, but it's being pulled apart, so that's where our trimming comes in. Now we're going to take our heels down to their optimal height. They're maybe a 1/4 inch too high right now, so we'll being careful to keep these vertical to the ground. We'll lower that, and the frog and the sole give you a lot of the clue as to where your heel height should be for this horse. He's landing, you know, flat or heel first like we want, but domestic horses just don't get enough movement to simulate a wild horse hoof wear pattern. Okay, so we've got our heels right about where we want them already. Trim is moving along nicely. Go ahead and do I call this a vertical cut. This is another little change I've made to my trimming protocol. I like to hold these nippers vertically in relation to the hoof capsule and remove that excess wall that way rather than trying to put a bevel on or the Mustang roll. After I get done with this vertical cut, you'll see how it looks, and over the next 2-3 days this horse will put, as he's done here for the last trim, he's already got a Mustang roll on there. which is better than anything I could do with my tools. So I'll let him do the Mustang roll for himself. Put this foot where it should be and let him take care of the rest. Okay, so there we go. And we see the wall at the toe is right level with the sole, which is, you know, fantastic. That's great. That sole is very, very tough, very packed in callus. Again, it would be a huge mistake to remove that with your knife. You can see I haven't trimmed the sole except for a bit at the beginning of the bar and back at the seat of corn. So he asked for a break, so he'll get a break. No problem. Give him a little rest, and we'll come around. That's great. Good timing. We'll come around, Paula, and finish up this vertical cut on the front of the hoof. Oh, I don't know if you can see, he's licking and chewing right now, so that's a good sign of he likes to feel that hoof. He's got it straight under him. You notice the orientation. The one we haven't trimmed yet is pointed out, not weight bearing so much. This one's bearing all the weight, got licking and chewing, and it's directly under him. It's lined up, the bony column's lined up, so that tells me we've already done some good for this horse, just the little bit we've already done. So we'll ask for this foot to bring forward. And the goal of this part of the trim is to finish up our vertical cut on this outer hoof wall. You notice my orientation of my rasp is, that's why I call it a vertical cut. It's pretty much vertical to the hoof wall. Okay. Again, backing that toe up, shortening that toe, but not lowering the height of it. Okay. And aggressive is a strong word, but you see I'm getting pretty aggressive with the trim here at the toe, taking off a lot of material, but I know based on what I saw underneath there how much I can take off up here. Okay. And something that's really changed is if I don't really, unless it's absolutely necessary, I stay away from trimming the outer hoof wall anymore. You want to preserve all that you can. Okay, so we're getting ready to take this foot down, swing it back around, and check our work. Okay. And it looks like we've got this just about aligned where we want it. We're right up against that white line on that toe, which, you know, I kind of like how that brings this foot back under the horse. Lets him load it the way he wants to, which is back on the heels. That's essentially your maintenance trim, 5-week maintenance trim on a horse that is turned out 24/7 and, you know, moderately worked on a good diet, good movement plan, and frequent trimming. Thank you very much. Damn it, that would have been perfect. That's okay. Yeah, you're supposed to go around and do the front.
That's what I was going to do. I'm sorry.
Well, you could have done it. Don't worry about it. That'll work. I'm done. I hope that's good enough.